Good morning, everyone. I'm spending a moment outside. It's not very warm, that's why I wear this morning warmer, I call it. and I'm here today. And the sun is coming out, and it's beautiful morning. And I wanted to have another discussion with you about our own humanity and how we don't spend time taking care of ourselves, and we all know it. And that's the discussion I want to have with you right now, because this is important that we um, be honest with ourselves and see how much we put on our shoulders that make us become slowly short fused and impatient and not looking at our humanity as we should do. And we are willing to, I'm not against pill, but willing to take pills to maintain that speed. Because it brings us somewhere we haven't been learning to take care of. I've been, as a mother, raising those kids, and everyone will say it's not easy. If there is a job that is very demanding, it is raising kids, because it challenges you all the time. And a lot of people do have kids in this planet and families, and or have been raising families, and we all know that most of the time we have to refer to who we are, what we've learned in life, and refer to everything that has been happening in our own childhood as we are looking at these new little lives, and we have to guide at becoming adults. And we were at a time where family were very important to the society, and we are far from that time. And it's really sad, because truly the importance of that role in the society is critical. And it refers, as parents, I mean, whoever it is, uh, that is raising kids. And now we've seen more same-sex parents, and identity, and how the kids are identifying themselves, a female, a male, no female in the house, never. So where do they take their identity, and socially where they compare, or what we want us to learn in those new schema of life. And how is it working actually? Is it working well? Have we found out something that is better than raising family with a male and a female? I've never truly seen any discussion on it. So if we have people that are living with a same-sex person, it would be nice that you tell us about it, because it's a new way of living life to myself that is lacking the importance of each sex in their own identity, and to whatever the society wants to do with homosexuality. It does not remove fundamentally who we are in our gender. And we know that all those vaccines right now are trying to change our DNA so it is only a one gender that will be existing. So that's their years plan. And giving those vaccines, we've seen a lot of autism happening. And I've read that those are chromosomes that were not changed properly with those vaccines. I don't know what it is. Anyway, I'm not an expert and I won't go that far, but I know those are failures. Failures with vaccine to modify humanity. And this is quite important because we think sometimes that we are we are dealing with things that are normal in life, and then we realize as we age that we've never seen those things before, and they're happening. And it also push you to ask a question: when did it happen, and how did it happen, and why do we see that emergence, and why do we see that emergent of change of personality after we've gone through a pandemic that necessitates that we all receive a vaccine, and how that vaccine had changed people's behavior is quite important, because if you don't take the time to think about it, you realize that you deal with a lot of new interaction and issue, and you're continuously confronted to new ways and how you have to find new strategy to deal with those situations. And we have to be conscious that it's creating a huge wave of social changes, and we don't know how it works. Like I've heard a lot of people saying, yeah, we have a complete new world since pandemic. And I remember saying to a specialist, the first year that they started vaccine, and 2 or 3 months after, I was seeing in people aggressivity level raising, and I was quite amazed, like people becoming with a strange way of dealing with things, more aggressive, more confronting, more adversity, and I couldn't really understand how they could do that, as I was clearly linking it, the change, with the injection of that substance they gave to everyone. And so it led me to the conversation I want to have with you is, when we're confronted to so much changes, and we're expecting when we raise a family that our kids will be healthy or mostly healthy, and now we have to add an amount, an account of people with uh, differences. Like I think they're not mental problem, but there are differences, but they're differences because they are creating a dysfunction in the everything that has been created around the world, and we have to deal with. By the way, I have to tell you that's the third time I registered this, and one I forgot to press video or record, and or it closed by itself. But I have done a very good video previously to this one. I'm really sad that it didn't go through, but it's exactly the conversation I was having. I was saying, well, we are confronted to situation we have to deal with. We don't have a comparison inside of us because this is not the childhood we have had, and we're confronted to more dependency, addictive issues that are accepted socially, that are creating changes in our way to dealing with things, or that are just replacing what we've lost along the way, because there are so many new things that needs to be added to our responsibility as parents or as coach or as leaders, whatever you call it, that it's overwhelming to a point where I used to say it's like having to kill a mammoth 10 or 12 times per day, which makes no sense because physically we're not made for it. But this is what we're asked for. And I have to admit, I've lived long enough right now to say that we've gone through life where we had no phone, and we had to um, plan our day. So we were calculating the time we have to come back and make sure that we were not making anyone insecure because we were not in. So we were having a social way of living that was including a lot of respect um, uh, to the people we were socially engaged with. And then I call it family, but whatever form of family you have in your life. But now we are actually having all our phone, and we are at the opposite. And where you cannot wait a second if you didn't answer to the message at the second. Everyone will complain about that you're not reachable. And who said that you had to be reachable? Uh, it started, I remember, it all started with those Paget or Blackberry. And the page were very much the start of that social change. And it would put in place for company leaders that needed to go for emergency situation and answer to it. So I've lived all my life with a pager in my work because I was emergency response team, and I needed to be there because I was leading those groups. So I had those pager, and then my life has been interrupted so many times to leave what I was doing and go to the engagement I did to answer to critical human intervention, like it was emergency response, like to whatever we know about it. And sadly, it changed our life because then it became we're gonna use it for us, and then we've been added those flip phone, and everything became so easy to use it that we've truck the respect of our freedom and our space to a reassurance of others that needs to deal with their own emotions, by the way. And we've been creating systems where we need to answer at the minute, not to create stress for others. But at the beginning, there's no problem with waiting 5-10 minutes and need to wait for an answer. And the person that is not answering has their reason not to answer. And then you have to address those issues on your own. And you have to remember, what does it say of you? I remember one day I was needing more solution to raise my kids because I had one kid that was very demanding, attention seeker, and then it was driving all the attention of the family, and we had to find ways to make that kid more busy because when that kid was quiet, not doing anything, then it was very much like leading our life. And then when I went to the psychologist, she said to me, whenever you're confronted to a situation where you feel an emotion that you are not finding the way to deal with that situation, you will find the answer into what does it say of you. And she said to me, very importantly, often it will show you where you have expectation, where you have um, objectives in your mind, and you want to go somewhere, and this situation prevents you from moving forward. So how you address it is the question, but it has to start with what does it say of you? And if you don't take the time to deal with it, then you're stuck with a repetition of that behavior. And that kid never changed along the way. That kid is now an adult and deals exactly the same way, wanting to have what they want right away, and then they think that you are at their service. I'm sorry, they don't want me to talk about it. And they want you to resolve their problem. But then they are at the same stage as you. What does it say of you? What do you need to address for yourself? And why would you want someone else deal for your own things that you have to resolve? And this is quite important because this is how we live every day. And then the society and the high elites, because they constructed themselves a structure that is in that same box where you have to suffer the one that is over you because this one has been set to be the person that will lead over you. And then you're not happy. This person, you find the person that is not giving you the tools to do it. And then you have to manage with it. And then you get frustrated, but you don't deal with your frustration. So you get to have a lot of mammoths you have to kill. So the kid that is not achieving, and then you come at work, and then you have that new boss that wants you to be this way and this one this way, and then it goes outside of your role and responsibility in your contract, and then you want to deal with this, but they say that it's part of your contract, and you get into multiplication of frustration. And then you have to ask yourself, if you get so frustrated, and say, what does it say of me? Why am I so frustrated? What do I see in this that I own? And it's quite important that as a society, we ask this question very often, because there's a lot of answer in all that is happening right now. And we'll come and discuss this point soon in another discussion. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.